Almost. Okay, we're live. Hello, Preschool All-Stars. How are you? Joy Anderson with Preschool System here with Kiersten Worrell. Oh my gosh, this girl came into my life. She jumped into my DMs. What was it, like a year ago?
It's been close. Yeah, close to that. I think it was, like December, January, something like that.
Okay. Yeah. So maybe like 9 months ago, jumped into my DMs, and I've been following her story the entire time because I've been like this was an action taker. So, Kiersten, what I'd love for you to do is share with everyone, where were you before you came across my world? What was your life like before you decided to start a preschool?
Yes. Well, I actually was a nanny for 4.5 years of children around preschool age up until, they aged into preschool 4 years. And it was the best job ever. And I loved it. And then all of a sudden I had decided, this is going great. Everything's really steady. I'm going to buy a house. So I had put on my life savings into buying a house and getting everything sorted and like moving to do this. And I lost my job 2 weeks before closing on the house. So I was in absolute panic mode, and I decided to go through with the purchase, and I was like, I'm just going to make it work. I will figure it out along the way. I can't back out now. It's too late. So my children's grandmother had recommended you, Joy, your book to me at that time, and I, as you know, I rejected it. And I was like, no, I don't want to do that. I'm not doing that. So I went along with it, and I did it all. And then finally, again, a couple of weeks later, I was panicking, like, I can't pay any of these bills. I don't know what's going on. And she was like, well, maybe you should revisit it. You can get a free book. And I did. And so I have been in your DMs ever since.
I love that. So, holy cow. Now, there was a strategy that you came across, this idea of how to actually create income before you started a preschool, which was a brand new strategy that I had not even considered opening up to people who were who didn't have a preschool, because I had done it before and my preschool owners had done it before. I was able to create $6,000, $8,000, $10,000 with the strategy. Becky Reed was able to create $6,000. Anita Gerber, who is literally doing this strategy as we speak, I think she has like $4,000 of donated items at the moment. But they have preschools already. And so I had this idea one day. I was like, wait, what if we change this so that we could actually use the exact same strategy, but change a couple little things, and people could actually create income before they started the preschool to fund the preschool, right? Okay, so tell me, when you saw that idea, like, what was you had to be excited about it, right? Because you had no income at the time.
I had nothing. I had zero income. And like I say, every penny of my life savings had gone into the down payment for this house. So I had nothing. And I was like, okay, this book is great, but how do I get even farther? Because I can't do this, even just licensing with money. So I don't think you had actually even introduced it as a prior preschool thing at the time. And I had asked you about it because I was like, I need some money. Maybe I can do whatever it is she's talking about, the strategy, to get it. And I had just decided that it was time to, ask you about it and take action with it. And it took off. It did really good.
Oh my gosh. So, and I remember, like, if this works, this is going to be a game changer. Right? I mean, we're going to, if you can pull this off and prove that it works, that people who don't have a preschool yet can literally use this strategy and get income at the end of it to fund your preschool for licensing, for furniture, for curriculum materials, training from me, like whatever it is, or even if you're doing an online preschool, whatever you need, right? Yeah, like game changer. So you jumped in. And so the general strategy is this, guys. Let me kind of give the general overview real quick. The general strategy is that you go into businesses like Red Robin, like your dog grooming company down the street, like a Cincy, supplier, an independent consultant, people like that, local businesses. You go into there and you're like, hey, I'm trying to start a preschool, and we're looking for money for a playground or a computer station or a library, and you have a curriculum, right, or PE materials, and you have this very specific goal that you're trying to hit. Not just like, hey, I'm trying to start a preschool. Do you want to help me raise money? Not like that, but like a very specific goal that is anchored, where you're like, hey, I'm trying to get a playground for my preschool. And you go into them and say, can I speak with your manager about possibly getting a donation? And immediately they're like, yeah, sure. And then they go get the manager. The manager comes up. You say, hey, I'd like to I was wondering if you'd be willing to donate a gift card. We're going to be doing a raffle coming up so that we can get money for a playground for our preschool. And they're like, yeah, no worries. Like, this concept of asking people for donations that you can then raffle off in a really cool fundraiser strategy that nobody has been doing before. Like, everybody goes to the places where they're like, oh, let's do an auction for items, right? You've heard of those, yeah? Or let's go into everybody come, we'll do a dinner and we'll auction off the items, or it's a mess. But we created this cool strategy where it's like super simple. But anyways, tell me, and then once you have all of the items, you bundle them into baskets. All the donated items into cool little baskets, like, weekend getaway or car lovers, car lovers gift or gift box or whatever. And then you sell raffle tickets for like $1 each, or you can get a bundle for more, to people in your community to win only the prizes that they actually want. And that's how you turn your donations into cash. So when you had this idea about this, like when you were like, hey, wait a second, is this real? Can I really go into businesses and get these items? Tell me like what your thoughts were right then. Cause like that's mind blowing.
I was terrified because I'm not a people person. Like, I don't talk to people. So just to dress up and just like pump myself up in the car, like I'm going to go in and ask for some free stuff, So, but actually I found that especially with the small businesses, they were extremely apt to just be like, yes, take this. Here's 5 items. Here's some t-shirts and some necklaces. Here are these things. In the small business, especially because they know what it is to start a small business. So they understood that effort, but it was terrifying. And, I got very few no's. Like, it did happen, but everybody was mostly super excited to do it and super excited to donate. And when I told them about it, it not only opened the door for, the raffle stuff, but it opened the door for, hey, my grandkid is looking for a preschool, or hey, I actually ended up meeting with the lady who owns a radio station in town, and she gave me free plugs on the radio, and I would attend events and things and sell tickets there to just meet people. And I was already like trying to get the word out. So before you even have your preschool, it's getting the word, especially in a small town like I'm in, it gets the word out about a preschool, a new preschool, and it's a big thing, and word of mouth is huge around here. So the connections that you make along with the raffle sales have helped me even to this day. I got free plugs for opening day to put on the radio as well. So it worked out awesome.
I didn't even think about that. Like, the more that you talk about the fact that you're starting a preschool, it helps you use your voice. It helps you like get the word so that when you're actually talking to people who may be interested, you're not like stumbling over everything, right?
Yeah, and you get ingrained. It introduces you into when you do tours and things. You've already like, oh, I can talk to strangers now. It's like a whole new realm of confidence that you weren't expecting to do. And I did do it in the different bundles and things. I actually my by far most popular was at a local gun shop, and I just did it by itself. It was a $350 gun gift certificate basically, and that was my biggest item, and I did pay for that, but the reward way outdid the cost, because I'll do it again. People they've been asking me for the last 4 months when I'm going to do another one to do it again. So they're waiting for the next raffle.
I love this. Okay, so she's actually talking about a little element of our strategy. When you're getting these items, like maybe a dog grooming thing, and maybe a weekend getaway, or a gift card to a restaurant, or things like that, or Cincy. And I'm only listing a couple of them. There's like probably 50 to 100 that are in the strategy of ideas that you can go after these people to try to get donations. But what you do is then you bundle like-minded things together to put together into baskets. So you might put together, okay, so like a hotel night stay, bundled with a dinner at a restaurant, bundled with, maybe some candles, and I don't know, whatever else, right? And so you bundle this into like the weekend getaway. And sometimes what we suggest is having like one major prize that everyone's like, oh, dang, if I could spend $25, how about this preschool, and possibly win that thing, like, done. I mean, people buy lottery tickets for days, right? And this isn't even like gambling. This is like supporting a local cause. And if it works out and you actually win something, awesome. So what I suggest to do is to find one thing in your area that you think most people are just going to like go crazy for. And in your area, it was the gun, right?
And That, and I did do like the couples retreat with the weekend getaway and a massage, and that was the other second one. But the guns just, I mean, people were calling me from 3 counties over, like, can I enter your, and nobody with the tickets at $1 bought only one ticket. Like everybody was buying multiple tickets because they're like, oh, I can spend $10 and get $350, you know, so it's never, very rarely did I only get $1 purchase for a ticket.
I love this. So that's the idea, is that even though maybe you're spending money for one item that's like a high ticket thing, you know that you're going to flip it right around and make a lot more. Now, we're not going to reveal quite yet your numbers because this is going to be exciting. But so I actually teach to get to go to a hotel, like a nice anniversary inn or a nice, you know, kind of a boutique hotel that would be fun for a getaway. And then they almost always, what they do is they have a discounted rate that they'll give you for a donation. They won't give you a free night stay, but they'll be like, hey, you know what? We'll give it to you for 70% off. And so then you pay the price. So for instance, I got like a beautiful night stay over in like I think it was like McCall, Idaho, which is gorgeous, for probably like, I don't even know, maybe $100, but the hotel itself was like a $300 a night place. So I spent $100 out of pocket, but people are like, dang, I can win this one thing, right?
Yep, they are. And that's exactly what I did. And they did discount it for me. And I did, we have a state park resort that has cabins. So I got a weekend cabin getaway, and I think it was a massage and case jewelry, some case jewelry that was on super clearance. I think I actually did pay for that too, but super high clearance, you know, and they were super excited about it.
That's awesome. And so the benefit to businesses actually donating an item, number one, it's just goodwill. Okay. They just want to help out our local preschool. Number two, it's a write-off. It's a tax write-off for them. So they actually are loving to get some tax write-offs. Donations are things they do day in, day out. So if you think they don't do it, you're wrong. And actually toward the end of the year, guess what? It's tax write-off season. Okay. Number three, but they can do it all year. And then number three, it's because they get their advertising out there, right? Like they actually get to, because you're putting their item into a basket and then, you know, broadcasting this, everywhere, this raffle booklet everywhere, trying to get, of course, ticket sales, but you're broadcasting this out everywhere. So their name, their fact that they're donating to a preschool, everybody puts them in this nice light of like, oh, look at this person, right? They're good business to help out the local person. So it's good advertising, right? So when you were looking at all you said a lot of people that worked out well was your small mom and pop shops, right? Or your small independent businesses.
Yeah, and those were the most apt to help by far. And some of them went just above and beyond. I mean, like absolutely above and beyond. And I actually would check back with them when I would put out flyers or go and drop off their booklets. And actually one of the ones was a local barber shop that just opened up. And I actually asked them, I said, hey, could you turn down the music so I could tell everybody in here about this raffle? And they cut the music off in the shop. And I yelled to the 15 or 20 people, and actually all of them in there just stood up and handed me a 20. And I was like, well, which book do you want? You know, and they're like, no, it's just donation. And I was like, okay, you know. And we did have some people that didn't want to gamble things, so I left it open for and donations too, because they just didn't want to enter, but they wanted to give to preschool. So it worked out really well. And the local businesses, like I say, and I still to this day, I promote them. Like if they share something on Facebook, I make sure that we share it, or even through the preschool page or something, just to make sure that they know that I haven't forgotten about them, so that when I go back for my next raffle, they'll be willing to donate again.
Oh, that's awesome. So if you have a current preschool, of course, you can give these raffle booklets to your preschool parents, to their friends, their families, et cetera, and kind of like spread it like wildfire that way. But you had a unique scenario because you didn't have an audience. Are you an introvert? Like you said, you don't really like talking to people. Okay, you're a huge introvert.
Yeah, I can. I've discovered that I can. I would be so nervous. I'm just awkward. Like I'm more awkward than I am nervous. It's just I'm weird. So I struggled with that, but this definitely brought me out of my shell to make sure that I was talking to all the right people. And, you know, and again, small town, you've got like small town famous people, you know, who you're like, oh, I'm talking to so-and-so. And, you know, but
But generally, what was the response like? I mean, were people like, oh, no way, like, I'm not going to donate. Why did you even ask me? Or what was the response?
No. Actually, the only people who were like that were the big restaurants like Outback. They did not want to do anything hardly. None of the big people wanted to do anything. I guess people ask them all the time. But everybody else, I don't think I went to a small business that said no. Some of them did ask for like written proof of what I was doing, like just so I'm not going around scamming people with free stuff. So I had to get a letter drawn up saying, hey, this is what I'm doing. And I would take that out after the fact. But it was definitely an extremely positive response, especially, like I say, and a lot of the small businesses had just opened up themselves and, again, knew what it took. And they were like, here's t-shirts, shoes, bags, like haircuts, license plates, a lot of different stuff.
Yeah. I mean, businesses already market and they spend money marketing anyway. So why not spend your money marketing, get a tax write-off, which has never happened when you market. You can't tax write-off that. But let's get a tax write-off for marketing, right? And help your business as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it definitely got the word out. And again, in the booklet, I advertise for them, and I still do. And I'll tell people like, hey, you know, word of mouth again around here is a huge thing. So I'm like, go down to the Royal Fades Barbershop and check in and see them. So they're still rolling. You know, their one-time donation didn't stop with the donation. I'm sure that they knew that.
That's awesome. So let me ask you, what was the go-to phrase that you led the conversation with? And did you go in person or did you call up the majority of your people?
No, I went in person, and that was tough because I had a time crunch because I have kids. So it was a matter of doing it when I didn't have kids, which is never. And I went in person to every single business. I don't think I called anybody. And this was pre-pandemic, so everybody was still open. But I went in person to every business, and I can't remember what I would say. I would just introduce myself like, hi, I'm big on handshakes. Hi, I'm Kiersten, and you know, I'm actually here to see if you would be willing to donate. I'm opening up a preschool, and I would have my little booklet in my papers and be like, and this is our first year. We're trying to get it started up. We need this, and this for the classroom. And they generally just be like, oh, okay, cool. And again, small town. A lot of them knew me already because it's a small town. So I'm like, hey, Gerald, can I get some license plates to go and take it to the raffle? So yeah, it went really well. Though I don't remember what I would say. It's been a couple of months, but I'm pretty sure I just was like, hey, you guys, like, this is me. And I tried to put on a smile and dress really nice. I actually went back to the gun shop to drop off a payment or something. And the guy, because they have a camera, you know, he was like, we didn't let you in because we didn't recognize you because I didn't have my hair and stuff all fixed up. And I'm like, thanks, guys. Great.
That's awesome. So one of the questions people are probably asking is, okay, I can see how this works for a local preschool, but for an online preschool, why would people be incentivized to donate anything to an online preschool? Like, I get like, oh, everyone wants to build up the community and stuff, but my thought, and tell me if you think this is accurate too, it's not just about building up the community. Like, there's so many components of it. Yes, tax write-off, but also it's free advertising. So when you, as the local person, are getting all these local donations, when you create the booklet, it has all local items. So you're going locally to your entire community to sell raffle tickets with these local items. So it's not like, the goal is not just, I guess my point is like, you're not going online to say, oh, hey, person in Mississippi, do you want to come to this getaway in Idaho? Like, that obviously doesn't resonate. But like, you're going to be hitting the pavement and going locally and hitting all your communities locally to know about the items that are donated in the raffle, which is all local. So it's all local advertising. It's all local marketing. Everybody is benefiting because you're the one putting out the effort to get that in front of other people's face for a good cause.
Right.
Do you think that answers the question there?
I think it would, because I think it's not even so much about necessarily, again, they were happy to give to a preschool, but it's more about the advertising than it is like my preschool. You know, they don't really care about my preschool, but they care about, oh, it's going to get my word out there. Oh, there's a prize from the Black Steel Arms gun shop, you know, and Black Steel Arms is going to be on the radio and things like that. So I don't think it's that issue. I actually had the first gun guy turn me down because he thought I wanted a gun for the preschool or something. He just thought I was crazy. And I was like, no. And he just couldn't wrap his head around why I was wanting it. So I was like, we're just going to move on. Okay, thanks for your time.
Yeah. Okay, so last question. Well, another question, but to wrap up this strategy, when you had all of the donated items, which honestly was that the easier part of this?
It was, because after like I said, I collected them all. It was a matter of getting the word out there, and it was a struggle because I didn't have the parents, so I was heavily relying on Facebook, which was a nightmare. I hit so many lots of learning curves for next time, and I had so many obstacles with that. But it definitely, it just, oh yeah, it was a lot. But it was the easiest part because it you can only reach so many people, if it's just you. So it was one thing for me, just me, to go in and collect the donations. It was another for me, just me, to try and get the word out and sell it. So It was a lot of stress.
So knowing what you know now, if you were going to repeat this strategy without a preschool, what would be the way that you feel would be the best bang for your time and your buck to get the word out and sell those raffle tickets?
Definitely the people that you know already. Like my sister works for the animal shelter and at the county courthouse, leave booklets with everybody. I'm pretty sure I did flyers. I did flyers too. So I would leave flyers everywhere. People would call. I did really well at events. Like I would attend events that they had a big bridal show that had thousands of people. I think they had like 20,000 people, and I did good with that. And just like be as in person as you can to talk to people, because that's going to be the best avenue to actually just, and they can tell that when you're passionate about it. It's one thing for them to be like, oh, in passing, hey, my sister's doing a raffle, it's another when you have people who either yourself or love you that are advocating like, hey, there's this awesome raffle, because my kids' grandparents were some of the biggest pushers, and they were like, I got this from so and so, and they were helping me push it. So definitely your circle and the people that you know, getting the word out there and helping you spread the love.
I love that. Okay, so how much in total donations value? So this is how we always do our numbers. We always say how much value was donated. So if a hotel night stay was a $300 retail, how much retail value was donated? How much of that first was donated?
Okay. Oh gosh, let me think. I had it written down.
Was it 1,800? Is what I think you.
It was 1,800. Yeah, I think it was close to 18. It was close to 2,000. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we'll give you the probably a guaranteed number of 1,800, not all the way to 2, but okay. So $1,800 retail value donated items. And then always the goal is, how do you get that into cash, right? Because you sell these raffle tickets. So that's how you turn the donated items into actual cash. How much, the big question is then, how much actual ticket sales did you make, which is the cash for the preschool?
Yes, I made, I think it was around 14, was it 14? And then accounting for the ones that I did pay for, like the gun and the night thing, I think I pocketed around 1,100. So that's the thing. When they're donated, like, you don't have any money in it. It's all profit, other than if you decide to buy something.
Exactly. Oh my gosh, I love that. So you made over $1,000 in cash. That is amazing. So now you have the seed money to be able to start your preschool. Tell us where you're at right now with your preschool.
Where I'm at with my preschool is we had a birthday party today. No, we're in our second week. We're in our second week of preschool. We opened. I had a great response. The people who I had visited their business have been sharing the preschool page. They would all share. They would tell their friends. I've had several word of mouth people come and say, hey, I heard about it from so-and-so, or so-and-so knew you were opening this from the thing. And we're open. We are functioning. I have one spot to fill. Actually, no. Somebody wrote me about that this morning. They're coming in for Monday. So hopefully that'll be my last spot to fill. And then I will start my wait list.
That's awesome. So come Monday, you may be full just 2 weeks into your preschool.
Yeah, she's already saying she's very interested. I think she wanted to be in class this week, but I had a spot held and they didn't show up. So I'm going to move along.
There you go. I love it. Okay. Now, obviously, you were just weeks away from, signing those mortgage payments, losing your job, things like that. Where is your life at now? What's going on with your family?
I have replaced my income from my old job. Which is what I budgeted my house for. Like, I bought the house with the intent of having that much money to pay for it. And so I've replaced my income. Not only, I'm actually a little bit above it. And this next one will put me $300 over what I was making before a month. So I've covered that, and we have all of our bills, and we are just working on continuing to build the preschool. I'm actually already looking at a second location. I know.
I love that. And you can always use this strategy now that you have a preschool.
Yeah.
Use the strategy.
I mean, people have literally, they have been texting me like, when is your next when are you doing one of those gun things again? I know so-and-so wants to win it. And then, so they've already they're pushing it harder than I am. So we'll have to get on that.
Awesome. Love it. Okay, well, Kiersten, thank you so much for joining us. I'm going to bounce off the live and we'll finish up on our other one, okay? Okay, thanks, everybody.
Bye.